You deserve a better. From the number one hit comedy show in Canada, he is, you know him from the Skids. He plays Connor. Here he is, Patrick Plywood McNeil.
Hello, sir. An imaginary other host that's supposed to be here.
Oh, yeah. Leave it to Lynn to always mess things up here. So let's start off. I know you probably have been asked this question a million times already, man. How'd you get started in Letterkenny?
All right. How'd I get started in it?
Yeah. How'd you become involved with it?
Okay, I'll give you the lowdown story. Kind of goes like this. So I went to college for television and cinematography, and then near the end of it, Letterkenny was first starting to build up production in Sudbury, and they were looking for cast and all that stuff, right? So there was auditions flying around. No one was cast for Stewart or Roll at this point. So a guy named Blaise Boissonneau, he was in my college. He came into the skate park that I was at, and I'm skateboarding, and he comes up and he's like, "There's auditions for this show called Letterkenny. They're looking for skids." And I'm like, "What the fuck's a skid?" They're like, "Oh, people that live in like their basement, they do meth, they're druggies, they don't get up, they're depressed." I'm like, "Oh fuck, dude, I fit that description." So I popped my board up, and then I went home and I got one of my exes to film my auditions. I auditioned for Roldy, I auditioned for Devin, and I auditioned for Stewart. All of those were, those were rejected because they were given to the right forms now, which are like, you cannot replace Seven and Tyler. That's a different story. But anyways, I was chosen, and then my other college mate who was 1 year below me, Danny, who plays Darian on the show, was chosen for there too. And I saw him in the holding, and I'm like, "Yo, dude, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be one of the skids." I'm like, "Cool, dude." And then the rest is just history. Then I started working on the show, and then I started getting grip jobs, and I started getting like all these different production jobs after that.
I started watching Letterkenny Problems when they were on YouTube, and it was just like quick 1 minute skits, and then it became this global. Yeah, I'll say global, man, because everybody I talk to knows Letterkenny. Did you ever
It's
think
starting to
it?
get seen in Australia and stuff. So like, yeah, it's getting there.
Did you ever think it would be this big?
Um, no, I thought it was just going to be a TV show, and then they just kept asking me to come back, and like, I knew there was something about it, but I didn't know how far it was going to go. You know what I mean, type of thing.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, well, we'll see where it goes, and they just kept saying like, "Hey, do you want to come back for season 2? You rock around with the skids. You got to name this season." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then they give us more interaction with the mains and everything like that. And then when season, I think it was 5 or 6 rolled around, on paper, it's all weird. Like on paper, it's different, but on Crave, it's 4 or 5 seasons ahead, something like that. It's different, but I think it was 2018. Me and Danny went down to the basement, and they told us that they're going to give us like actor roles on the show. So we started like, getting more involved. They can like give us lines now, because like there's a bunch of union rules and stuff like that. Like you can't talk on film if it's an acting union thing. It's just how it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how it all works, but it's just how it does. So
Just go with the flow.
exactly, the Dow, man.
When you in between scenes, because that cast, from what I see as a viewer, is absolutely crazy. Like you got Mark Forward on there, you got Jonathan Torrens, Jared Kessel, K Trev. You got all these like comedians. What do you
Yeah.
do like when you're not filming and you're like in between scenes? I mean, what are you doing out there?
We're just probably hanging out in a tent, most likely, or just offset or something. And I just talk to whoever. Whenever you have a conversation with someone, it's you just talk about their lives. Like about most of the cast and everything, I know kind of like about their families, what they're going through, if they recently got married, like stuff like that. And I just ask about things like that, or what do they got planned for Christmas this year? Or they got anything like big plans? Just stuff like that. We just talk, shoot the shit. Hey, Trev has like the most infectious laugh I've ever heard. And I swear to fuck, I've heard him a few times on some Just for Laughs old school ones when he was first starting out. He was in the crowd. I can hear his laugh. I'm like, that's fucking K-Trap. I know it is the ones in Toronto.
Yeah.
I swear to fuck it was him, but like, he's always joking. Mark Forward's always great. Mark Forward was actually one of my comedy heroes growing up. And now I'm working with him. It's like, I cannot ask for anything more of this life. I'm very truly grateful that my eyes wake up every morning and I get to do shit like that.
It's like the only thing I'm really watching is just Canadian TV. It seems like with Mr. D, Trailer Park Boys, Corner Gas. We've had a couple of them on the show, you know. But Letterkenny is like evolving into this thing, man, and it's moving up the ranks. And to me, honestly, Trailer Park Boys used to be my favorite Canadian show, but I gotta give my hats off because Letterkenny has surpassed that. And I feel weird saying that because I genuinely like the guys that are the characters, and I've hung out with them a few times, and crazy guys. But honestly, Letterkenny, man, is
Yeah,
it's
I really appreciate both shows. I mean, like, I know I'm on Letterkenny and everything, but like I actually watch it, and it's actually like it's just genius. Trailer Park Boys is genius in its own ways too, and it's very another humbling experience is working with a lot of that cast as well, even when they were just crew. Like on What Would Sal Do? Sarah Dunsworth was the costume designer
oh
and the
okay.
wardrobe lady. So I got to hang out with her a lot because I was crew, and she was taking pictures of my shirts when before my Instagram, my first one got hacked, and she was like posting them and stuff like that. And now Jonathan Torrance plays Noah Ditch, so I get to talk to him. And then through Deliciously Dope TV, which is a podcast I produce sometimes, based in Michigan. Shout out to Chef Rodney 117. He hosts it. We had Jacob Rolfe from or Rolf. I don't know how to say his last name. Sorry, Jacob, if you're watching. We got him on there, and we just kept calling him Jacob Collins. I smoked a whole cart like of Super Lemon Haze during his interview, and then we just became good friends. And I was hanging out with him a few weeks ago while he was in North Bay. He was supposed to do a Tokyo Smoke thing, but I think I got switched around or something.
On my old podcast I used to do, we were John Dunsworth's last interview before he sadly passed. And I've gotten to meet Sarah, and very, very cool people. And the only
Yeah.
person that I've met so far or two people I've met now off of Letterkenny is Nathan. He was up in Toronto, and I kind of backed myself in the corner with him, man. I I was like, man, I really love Letterkenny, because it was like season 2, 3, and he's like, "Where are you from?" I was like, Chicago area," and he's like, "We're down there." I'm like, "Nah," and he's like, "Well, how are you watching it?" I was like, "Oh man, bootleg," and he's like, "Well, whatever works, man, keep going," And now,
Yeah.
like I said, everybody in the states knows you guys.
No, it's on Hulu and everything, so you guys can watch it. You don't have to like tape trade or try to steal or.
Like, and now you got the spin-off
I'm
of
joking. You got to do. You got to do to watch shows, right? Like some people are like, "This is a hot fucking show," and you're like, "I gotta see it," So you got to do. You got to do so you can actually get the access to it, right? I don't know.
right, right. And you know what? I tried to do it the right way, man. I tried to sign, get an account with Crave on the app,
Yeah.
and it won't let you do it when you're in the States, which is stupid because if somebody's willing to pay for it, then why not? And
Yeah, it's just there's just certain I think it's like a system type thing, like how it's distributed. So Crave can't distribute to a certain system. I don't know how it all works. I'm probably totally wrong, but
yeah,
something along those lines. You can't
fuck it.
cross state borders or Canadian borders or something like that.
It's so stupid, man.
That's my best uneducated guess. So yeah.
So outside of Letterkenny, a little bird told me, man, that you made like a short film called Lawn Wars.
On Brothers,
Oh,
I
sorry.
guess.
So thanks, Trish, for getting that wrong for me.
It's all good.
So is that anywhere to be
Hi,
viewed?
Trish.
Is that anywhere to be viewed? Like she said, it
That
was
is
up.
on YouTube. It still has a festival life. There's still about 5 or 6 more festivals this year it's going through than there's a few in 2023 that I just keep getting emails for. So they're like, yeah, call for entries, 2023, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, then I just invest some more money, see where it goes. But the Long Brothers got started because of Trish and the Sioux Film Fest. So we got noticed through that. We got selected, and then I just sent it off to like certain fests in like India, Russia, Bulgaria, all these places, and it's won some awards. We got 2 right here actually. There's like a few posts or these, but this isn't my trophies. They're not. They shouldn't be in my name. They should be. Should say Patrick McNeil, Peter Klein, and Jay Friggs, because we all made this short. We all have a big part of it. Jay Friggs is our filmer. He's also like a writer and stuff like that. I consider him my comedy husband, even though I'm not gay or anything. But we just we like really like vibe with comedy. Like we could just like throw ideas at each other. We write a sketch. You know what I mean? So I got to give my hats off to those boys too, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't got 14 plus selections and like 6 plus wins. So like,
And
shout out to my boys tonight and Klein. They kill it every time. Yeah.
and when I talked to Trish about you, man, she has nothing but good things to say about you. She's like, he even slept in my childhood home at my mom's house, and I was like, yeah,
That was a
and
good
she's
time.
like,
Yeah, her mom was a great host. Shout out to Anne because she was really great. I try to give her smoothies in the morning because I have breakfast smoothies before I go to set, and I think she liked them, but I don't know 100%. But I like them, so keeps me, strong and mentally fit or whatever all that bullshit I do is.
and outside of acting and all that, I seen a picture with you, man. It looked like somebody lit your chest up when you were standing in front of a wrestling ring, like Ric Flair's just been
Oh, yeah.
chopping the hell out of you, dude. And I was like, Trish, does he wrestle? And she's like, I think so. And I was like, oh man, maybe it's something I did, she didn't really know about.
Because I wasn't doing it when I was on the last show I was with her in April. I
Yeah.
was thinking about it and getting ads for it. And since I was a kid, I've been like, oh, one day I'll get in the ring, one day I'll do it, blah, blah. And I never did. And then I start seeing ads that it's in North Bay. And I noticed that I'm like, wow, it's affordable for me too. So might as well go fucking try. So then I went down, I just messaged, there's a guy I know in there too. His name's Liam. And he let me, he's like, yeah, come on down to the dojo, see how you like it. So I had to do like the warm-ups and everything, take some bumps. I took a scoop slam from everybody, and then everybody chopped me. And then someone's nail actually dug into my chest, and I have like a small little scar from it now. I'm trying to get it on there, but it's around here, like right there.
Yeah, I see it.
So that's like the beginning of it all. So every time I look at that, I'm like, keep getting in the ring. Because I'm kind of injured right now, but I keep going back. Like I took a shoulder block a few weeks ago, like right stiff, like into the armpit.
Yeah.
I think it busted some cartilage, but I got to get it checked out either today or tomorrow. But like, and then I'm just going to keep going back until like I can get in there and then maybe start doing matches. Because I eventually want to go and try out death match, which is like glass, barbed wire, and thumbtacks.
Yeah. Like some CZW stuff.
Yeah.
It's like John Moxley,
Nick Gage, Alex Cologne, Shellac.
Dude, I seen an
Cole
old
Radrick. He just started Ratty Daddy.
I seen an old match with Moxley, and the dude took a table saw blade, and he came straight down on Moxley's head, and it stuck in his skull. And Moxley's walking around, man, and it's still just stuck there, dude. I'm like, holy shit, dude.
It's brutal.
Like I've broken bones and all that doing this because I've wrestled now for about 27 years, but now I'm like the Bobby Heenan heel manager.
I like that.
But I still take the big bumps, man, and because people hate me, it builds up throughout the show. And as time goes by, people are really, like want me out of there. So then at the end, I take the big bump and everybody's like all happy and shit that Powers just got knocked out. And
they just want you, like they want you to get your comeuppance. Yeah, that's how it is.
I took a group of guys down to Tennessee, the mecca of wrestling, and we started a riot, and my buddy got a gun pulled on him and stuck in his mouth. Dude, it got serious. And then my other partner got a knife pulled on him. So everywhere we went, we had security, and it was absolutely nuts. So,
because really people, wrestling fans, man, they get like right into it. Like I get into it, but I know how to separate the character from the person because there's a persona that comes with wrestling, right? It's called kayfabe, as we both know, and it's like that's not actually them. Like when MJF goes out there and tells his parents to go fuck themselves and stuff like that, he's just trying to build heat. He's not actually like meaning all that junk. I know he isn't. And if you saw this interview, he told me to go fuck myself, and he does mean it, but he's just being MJF in character. You know what I mean? So
you ever see the signing when the kid asked him for his autograph at the convention, and MJF's like, you dude.
Yeah, just give the kid the finger. He's just building heat. That's all he's doing. He's trying to get people to hate him. Because then because he knows in his brain that like once he goes down in the ring and everyone sees it, it's gonna cause the best like thank fuck, we're glad you knocked him out, like reaction. You know what I mean? Like he's wanting that. That's why he always runs around. That's why he always slips out at the person he's always going to face at every PPV. I notice. I'm like, that's good storytelling.
Right.
Good
Dude.
wrestling, anyway. Wrestling's a different storytelling than a script, for a movie.
Yeah, yeah.
As you know a lot more than me. So
it's I hate when people are like wrestling's fake, and I'm like, man, just sit back and enjoy it, man. Stop trying to figure things out.
the show.
Yes, just sit back and enjoy the show and stop figuring things out. I mean, people pay to come watch it. Don't ruin it for other people.
That's
And
like me if I went and had a bunch of friends, and I'm not really into anime just for the sake of discussion, which I kind of am and I'm kind of not, just getting into it. But say I'm not, and it's just this anime series that I find, like, in my own opinion, lame or whatever. Everyone there likes it, but I don't. And I just keep making fun of it, and I keep chirping it, and I keep chirping it. Like, no one's gonna enjoy themselves because I'm just like that. Yeah, this is stupid. This is whatever. Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to figure it out or whatever. It's just like, shut the f up and enjoy the fucking show. Seriously, just
I like
watch.
I
God
like
damn
how
it.
you I like how you said shut the F up, enjoy the fucking show.
Yeah, exactly.
But man, if you are ever down in this area, because Trish said the 180 Sisterhood should come down here, her and Rebecca, and do some stuff. But if
I'll
you're
hit
ever
your ride
down,
with them. Yeah.
because I was talking about when she was on last that Gary, Indiana, which is like a couple minutes from here, and it's like the murder capital of the world and all that, so they say. And it's the biggest user of plywood, and that's what started with her talking about because we're like, oh,
Sounds
plywood.
like my kind of town.
Yeah, they're like, plywood should come down there and make like little videos in front of the houses, like plywood can do this, plywood can do that, and
It can withstand my body weight. Womp.
it's a crazy thing, man. So, hey, that's all I got. One thing I got rapid fire, okay? Kind of like a quick either or. All right, for you.
Okay.
All right.
We talk
So,
about any other things, man. I got mental health stuff I could talk about. Like I do that for YouTube. I do comedy videos for YouTube. Like, yeah, got a bunch of stuff.
all right, we
Do
can talk.
stand up.
You do stand up too?
Yeah, I do, like, as much as I can, man. I just try to do entertainment entrepreneur stuff. I just did stand up this past Tuesday at Lou Dogs in North Bay. I'm gonna have my full setup soon. I have to edit it first, and yeah, we'll see how it works. There was a whole, like, I have like story bits, and they all kind of coincide. That's how I try to write my comedy.
Right on. How long are
But
your sets usually?
5 to 8 minutes.
I work with a comedy promoter too, and he's always looking to bring comedians in here, stand up, and all over the Indiana, Ohio, Michigan area. So, but I know that has to be a little bit more nerve wracking than acting because the spotlight is just on you.
Yeah,
So you nervous when you go up there on the stage?
there's always a general nervousness, and I'm not going to deny it. But it depends on how much you just not fight it, but work with it in your head before you go up there. Because, like, it's a script. It's a giant script that I memorized, but I'm not going to memorize every single word for word. I just have to ad lib it and stay on top of the story so that when the start of the story starts and the build up starts happening, then you get this punchline. It's like, holy shit, like I didn't notice that was going to come out of left field. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And you just have to keep, like, yourself with the flow and just don't get lost in the crowd. Don't, like, for me anyways, I'm just like kind of restarting out. Like, I haven't done it in about 5 years or 7, maybe, like since 2017 or 18 was my last show in Sudbury Asylum when it was still open. I was doing open mic nights every Tuesday. Like, they had them like every second Tuesday. So I'd go out and do them, and I'd have different material every time. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't do different material every time because you're not really giving yourself like a flow. You got to have sets. So I started writing sets, and then I pulled out an old set from years ago, and I just kind of respiced it up about a bit. Try it out on Tuesday, and I watched the footage. I heard some crowds laughing, and I heard everything like that. But there's a lot of people talking. It's a bar as well, so it's like either people kind of respect the show itself, or they're just there to drink. You kind of can't control people, right? So it's like, you know what I mean. But like, overall, I had a blast, and like I'm gonna put it on YouTube so people see it, and I'm just gonna keep trying to go do it because every time I see an open mic night or something, just go and try to do more, because I have been writing a lot more stand-up like stuff lately.
Now, in that point, have you ever had to deal with a heckler, and how do you handle it?
Yes, I have once. I did a Rohypnol joke, roofieing myself, but not roof like because I like to party, and then I wake up with this sticky substance all over my mouth, and it's like, oh no, I got in trouble. Someone picked me up, blah blah blah. But not really. I just looked to my left, and there's a big pile of glazed donuts that I got at Tim Hortons before I got home because I was all fucked up. And I'm like, oh, it's sweet, it's good. It's not actually like pineapple semen, type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this girl got like real offended, being like, "Oh, my friends have been roofied and this and that." And then I kind of got like real into it with her because like I'm just like young and just starting out. I practiced this for a few weeks, and then I pretty much heckled her back until she left the building. I'm not going to say what I said because it wasn't very nice. And she left the building, and then I'm like, "Now, where was I?" And I keep continuing. I don't really take it that lightly because it's a performance art. It's like if, say, you were having a wrestling match, like you're back in your glory days and you're having matches again,
Yeah.
and then some random guy comes in there and starts trying to like beat you up or something like that. Totally like, no, you're interrupting my show, and now I forget what move goes next to the next thing. It's like it gets you off point when you have your Tao or your flow. You know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
like, if you're going to a comedy show, don't go to be offended. If you're offended, stay at home and bitch about it on Twitter. Stop being a little bitch and coming out being like, oh, I didn't like that joke because I personalized what he said to my fucking life or what she said to my life. Stop personalizing jokes. It has nothing to do with you. It's an overgeneralization of their opinion in a comedic standpoint. Either laugh or get the fuck out. That's all I have to say. But
It's like you go to a comedy show, man. You're gonna hear something that you may not agree with, but don't ruin it for the other people who are there for the
scroll
same
up.
thing.
Scroll up. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah,
know,
it's like that, pretty much. Like, why are you engaging now? Like, when you see something you don't like on the internet, you start commenting, like, oh, this and that. It's like, who's going to care about that, dude? In the end, really, who is going to care about your comment? You're either going to get made fun of or people are going to agree with you. It doesn't, it's like, you're just building an algorithm, is all you're doing when you comment on things. Like,
we
I
had
don't know.
a we had a Canadian comedian on here. It seems like everybody, one of my guests are Canadian. Uh,
Yeah.
we had stand-up comedy Simon King,
Yeah.
and he said he never practices his bit, man, until he's on stage, and then he likes to see how dark he could take it before that line's crossed. And he
I
said
like that.
he said that's his favorite thing to do is watch people go from a laugh and a smile to, oh man, and you start looking over your shoulder all the time, like, oh man, I can't laugh at that. It just it makes me laugh, and I like hearing how people like apply themselves for comedy, because I mean it is a hit or miss, and I've seen a lot of comedians bomb, but you know what, man? They're up on the stage under that light. They're nervous. And we don't need to make it any more nervous, make him more nervous or her than they already are, and ruining the show, because it can cause that person to like forget the lines or forget the punchline. And God, that would suck.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, it's performance art and you're coming out there. Try to respect it, Like, if you really think that you're that funny and drunk enough to go on fucking stage to do it, then go sign up and then go get yourself some time. Like, there's no point in interrupting a show and like trying to get all eyes on you. What that really means is that that's a reflection on you, and that shows that you need to be the loudest person in the room. And usually, the loudest person in the room is anxiety-ridden, depressed, doesn't get enough love, something like that. There's a reason why you're interrupting everything to make it about you, and it's not because we're gonna feel bad for you. Now you become an asshole. You know what I mean? It's like, we're here to enjoy Jason Rouse or K-Trav or this one, and now you're interrupting his set. We paid $25 for a ticket. I got VIP. It's 25 fucking dollars. You shut your fucking mouth and you let Jason or K-Trav keep doing their thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's how I feel when I go to a comedy show that I paid for with my hard-earned money that I work for. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
yeah. Or
You
any show in that name.
true, true. So you're talking about your YouTube channel, and for the people who are listening to this when it's out, where can they find you, man? And
Just type in on YouTube Plywood Mind. and there's a video that says, "What is plywood mine?" question mark, and then you just click that, and it goes to my whole carnival of horrors, which I call my comedy sketches. And I got some characters on there that I play. I play a character named Craig Henning. He's a local drug dealer. That's all his label is. He wears his pillowcases on his head with one eye hole. They're different colors every now and then. Troll Klutus, because he's away from the FBI and he's like running away and he deals heroin. I got another guy named Albert Flynn, who's kind of like a G.G. Allen knockoff. You ever heard about him? And
No.
he's like an old shock rock punk rocker who died back in the 90s, but he
Okay.
did some fucked up things on stage. So Albert kind of does stuff like that. Then I got Ben Smithers, who is nothing like me, kind of like a nerdy like collector. He goes down to the beach and with like a little like this would be something he'd do is like with like a metal detector and pick up like old coins, and he talks kind of like Mr. Burns. He's like, "Oh, another coin for my coin collection." And I play him, and then there's another character I just started named Herbal Headbanger, who's a guy named Herb Head, and he's like from the East Coast, and he just smokes a bunch of weed, and he's turned off by the world, and all he gives a fuck about is women, metal, and weed.
Sounds pretty cool. Little group of characters you got going on there. So
Then and then I just got random sketches about just stuff. Like there's one sketch I did called like, "You got 20 minutes. What are you gonna do with your next 20 minutes?" And that's like the narrator starts cursing you for like not doing anything with your life and you're just running away. Like it's kind of obscure, but like just that's just stuff like that. It's mostly absurdist type humor. A lot of like, I'd say based on like, dare I say, Kids in the Hall, stuff like that.
yeah.
But I don't want to like disrespect their name by saying I do things like that, because it's like Kids in the Hall were way ahead of their time before they were ahead of their time. You know what I mean? Like to me, but
I got Zoom telling me this meeting will end in 10 minutes. So fuck off.
yeah.
So, but no, dude, honestly, I appreciate you coming on. And if
Mhm.
you're ever in this area and we got a wrestling show, dude, you always got an open door a ticket,
I'm always
man.
down for wrestling, dude. I love wrestling. Been loving it since I was like, I don't even know how old I was. My dad plopped me in front of SummerSlam 94 or 95 or something. I'm pretty sure Lex Luger was in the main event, but I don't remember. But ever since watching that, I was just into it. And then I started tape trading back in the day with my buddy Shane in Oklahoma when I was living there, because I was my dad's military. And I would trade ECW tapes from him, and I'd give him Monday Night Raws because he wouldn't get the channel, and he would get the channel for ECW. So I'm like, yeah, 90s cable back in the day, you get whatever you get.
Yeah.
So like we'd like tape it, trade it, and then I'd be like, "Oh, dude, RVD beat the shit out of Sabu. Oh, that was so fucking cool." You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah,
awesome.
dude.
That's how I got into the hardcore stuff. And then the Attitude Era came out, and I'm like, "Oh, WWF's doing it now. Cool."
And then they turned real mellow. WWE got all like because Linda McMahon was running for Congress, so they had to tone it down and
Yeah.
no more bra and panty matches. And
Yeah. The
you know,
2010 just kind of just went to the PG era.
right. And
Yeah.
I kind of dig AEW because they kind of break down the forbidden door. Like bringing a New Japan Pro Wrestling. That I think that's on.
No pun intended. This Sunday, I'm ordering it.
Oh, nice. And it's not, it's only like 45 minutes away from here, man. So unfortunately I gotta work or I'd do it.
I was gonna be like, dude, go drive and go in the front and try and get on TV.
That would be kind of cool, man. And then uh yeah, I just like them, man. And after a while, like wrestling kind of started fading away with me. And then I seen the Lucha Brothers and they like revamped up my
The
like,
spark, yeah.
because they were going against Santana and Ortiz, and live in person, man. And I was seeing shit that I've never seen. Like I had to sit up and look at them, man. Like holy cow! And
Yeah, that's how I felt too when it first started coming out. Like when Jericho won the world heavyweight title, that's when I
yeah,
first started watching it. And then MJF kicked Cody Rhodes in the nuts and became the biggest heel ever.
right.
That's when I started watching it, and I'm like, this is the shit I used to watch when I was a kid. Like, what's going on? What is this promotion? And I just started tuning in every like Wednesday, and I got real into it. So yeah.
Gotta ask, man. MJF, is it a work or is it real? That last
I know
fight,
it's a work, but he just won't admit it.
right. Because I was like,
Nobody's inherently evil. You know what I mean? Like he's just acting that way.
right. He they would have cut the mic, and had security guards come out if it was real. You know what in my eyes, because I was like, holy cow,
Like
the stuff he's saying.
like the pipe bomb, right? They tried to cut CM Punk off.
Yeah. So
That was real because like he
yeah,
was pissed off at shit. You know what I mean? Like from what I see, anyways. Because I might be completely wrong. I don't know. I'm not their vision. I haven't stepped their steps. I fucking don't know. But from what I see, it's like that seemed kind of real because they're kind of trying to cut his mic off. You know what I mean? Like unless that could be a work too, because I don't know. You never know with wrestling. They pull the fucking wool over your eyes all the time.
as long as I've known CM Punk, because he used to wrestle in a Fed here too, LWF. That's where he started. And when I was there, there was actually a group of CMs, chick magnets, and
Yeah,
I really wish he would stayed with that group because CM, you could always tell he was the leader of the group,
yeah.
because he always was a good talker on the mic. And man, when I see these guys make it, it makes me proud, because I'm like, man, I was in the locker room with that dude, and
Yeah,
like Mustafa
exactly.
Ali. I don't know how many times I kicked his ass in the ring, and now here he is,
But now
WWE.
look at them.
And
Yeah,
look at
and
me, I'm
like
sitting here doing a podcast. And that dude,
exactly. Well, but everyone's got different journeys, man. That's the thing. And I get really stoked for my Letterkenny co-stars or whatever, like all those guys, like co-actors, co-actresses. Like when I see Michelle selling her things for relative skin on Instagram, I'm like, fucking right, dude. And I share it. I see Tyler doing a Comic-Con in Michigan or something like that. I'm like, fucking hey, Tyler, man. Yes, dude. Like Evan Stern, he's doing his stream. I'm like, fucking right, Evan. Like I like promoting all these people because it's like we're all building our own lives individually. There's no need to be having competition. But
right,
when
right.
there's competition, there's never going to be any peace. Until there's no competition, there won't be any peace on earth or within himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well, there's no need for that shit. And back to my comedy too, but like getting offended, it's like as long as the person's not actually inciting any hate or like against a group or like violence or being like a fucking Hitler dictator type piece of shit, then like comedy should be fine and you shouldn't be getting offended by it. If you're offended by something, then you might have some problems on the inside and you might have to work it out because there's things bigger than your offense and it always will be. Like things are going to go the things are going to go. People are going to say what they're going to say, but it's like, do you really have to inquire yourself in that and like get, so swallowed up in it where you're now like hurting your own life by trying to make your own point when these people won't listen to you. Like it's just, I mean, fight the good fight. I always say that, but at the same time, it's just like you can only do so much. What you can only do so much.
right,
That's
right.
all it is. Yeah.
Thousand percent agreed, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, but all right, man. I graciously thank you for your time, man, and I hope I cross paths with you. Trish invited me up to the Sault Ste. Film Festival this year, so I may come drive up there and check that out. And
I'm gonna try and put some stuff in there too.
yeah,
So with maybe not even my own stuff, just stuff with Tonight and Klein there that I was talking about.
yeah.
But they are those are my like that's my comedy team. So we always try to make shorts together and then just try to see where it goes.
Right
And
on.
yeah, I think the Sioux Fest we're gonna try and do this year. And another thing on my YouTube is there's mental health videos. So if you're ever struggling, anybody out there, you need some tips on depression or anxiety or how to build a mental health journey. I expose myself as the human that I am, and I don't apologize for any of the mistakes that I made in my past. I admit them, just so people can not feel so alone, because people make mistakes all the time. They're like, oh, I'm such a piece of shit because I fucking did this wrong, blah, blah. I think, no, you just learned it. You didn't know that 5 minutes ago. Now like you're ignorant until 5 minutes go past. It's just, you get smarter as time goes on. You can't call yourself stupid for making a mistake. It's just shit like that.
Right on. So check Patrick out on his YouTube page. Support him. Uh, check him out on all of his social medias. Check him out in Letterkenny. Who knows? You might see an EpiPen fight again.
My
But
Instagram's at dsbttv_plywood, and then Twitter is _Potamkin. That's all.
right,
They just switched because my old account got hacked. I put a big ad out there, so
right on, man. Again,
it's been fun building it back up. So
I appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate you having me on here, man. Thank you so much. It's been great.
Hey, thank you. I will talk to you later, and I will let you know when this is up today.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
All right, man. You have a great day.
Yeah, peace out, Scott, man. Cheers.
All right, later.
Take care, dude.
All right.